Hello and welcome back to Learning with Miss Shanks. Today I am going to guide you through some character analysis of Curley from Of Mice and Men. When we begin to analyse characters, we have to start by considering how they're introduced. In this case, Steinbeck introduces the character of Curley through description and action. And it gives us the impression that we're going to be able to see more about this man from his behaviour than we are from his words. When we look at some of the details that have been given, it's really important that we note things like the repetition of young, which might suggest a lack of authority. We'll come back to that in a moment. We also need to consider that idea of the tightly curled hair, which could give us a clue as to his personality. Perhaps he is tightly wound. When we consider whether or not Curley has natural authority, I'm reminded of something my English teacher told me. Curley's high-heeled boots show his desire to have authority like his father does. And while the heels represent power, as Steinbeck has already drawn attention towards his youth, we're led to believe his authority is not natural. Because we have already acknowledged that Curley does desire a sense of authority, we now have to pay close attention to his behaviour, and we're going to see whether or not he behaves in a way that asserts dominance over other people within the novel. Let's look closely at Curley's behaviour. If we look at the idea that his eyes passed over the new men, we have a sense of judgment within this. However, passing over would suggest there's a lack of control. It's not necessarily him sizing up his opponents because it shows disinterest at this point. Curley doesn't care who is around him. Immediately after, he glanced coldly at George and then at Lenny. To glance coldly, it suggests that he is cruel and unpleasant. There's a detachment, a lack of feeling towards these people, but he doesn't like them. He also looks at them in order of their dominance within their relationship, perhaps seeking weakness. If we then look at the physiological responses, the responses of his body, so his bent arms, closed fists, the stiffness, the crouching, it suggests that he's getting into a fighter's stance. This shows that he's immediately quite aggressive. Perhaps he would use violence to show he is in control and dominant in a situation. Ultimately, when we look at the introduction of Curley, we see an anger within him. He acts as an antagonist, someone to create drama or cause tension, and we can predict that throughout the story, he's going to be trouble for George and Lenny, just based on his initial response to them. These are just some of the things that we can say about Curley's introduction. Can you think of any more as you read on? Let me know in the comments.